Okay. Hi, welcome back to Sheepy Hollow. And we're outside of Tim's because it hit me. I gotta go to Ormonthal Lake. I've already did the Costco. Oh, I gotta put the cards away. Anyway, had to go in there and get a coffee because the lineup was too friggin' long. And there was a lineup at the door too. Alright, let's get this sucker turned around here without bumping into someone. There we go. There we go. Oh, where's this guy going? Good. Alright, we got a new donut today we're going to try. I was going to get Timbits, but they were going to end up giving me some of those chocolate ones that taste like drywall mud. So we got a thing called a s'mores, a dream donut thing. So here we go. We're off to the lake, and we're going to go on a different route that you've never been on before, I think. And we'll let this battery run out, because it'll run out before we get there, I think. And I'll put another battery in it and start it up on the way back. Alright, here we are. Good. It was nice it got a little box for the donut this time, so it's not going to be smeared on the bag. Oh, nice. It feels soft. And I don't get it, or I don't have. Got nuts on it. It's good. Soft chocolate inside. It's good. Caramel. Oh, it's better than the Boston Cream Boys. Okay, here we go. That and a triple. There we go. And the bear. Neighbor down the road got a bear here yesterday. 317 pounds. Oh, how fast am I supposed to be going here? So I'm going out to Ormonthal Lake to visit some my longest friends that I've had in New Brunswick. And it's a cool day out. Oh, the tabernacle. Don't see those every day. There's a Kingswood golf course. The Hanwell. It's a little town of its own. Yep, that's a good donut. Now, what do I do with sticky fingers? I have a chance to get a napkin, maybe. Uh-oh. there wasn't. There we go, Kleenex. Oh boy, get to follow this guy for a while. Oh good, he turned. There's a few businesses in the back here. There's a military survival shop. It's just a bunch of old junk is what it is. But every once in a while you'll find something in there. That's where I bought my snowshoes. There we are. Hey, look at that. There's a bird. So I had a new treatment done today on my shoulder. And I got a burning patch on my hand, on my wrist. Or not my wrist, but my upper arm there. What they do is they put a patch that's got a bunch of vinegar in it, and they put it on your shoulder where the problem is. It's calcium, I guess, and they put the ground on your, like around your elbow on the inside, and then they okay, what's going on here? Are we turning? We are. Okay. And they ground it, and then you 5 minutes on a low setting, 5 minutes on a slightly higher setting, and then 10 minutes on a real high setting, and it was hot. Like, it was pretty hot. So, this way we're going goes towards Harvey. And it's one of the straightest roads I've been on in the province. As you'll see. And there's quite a few people living out here, but they're on these little side roads. There's pretty good sized subdivisions. Oh, regular 215. And I watched a very interesting video from Outdoors with the Morgans yesterday. And what he did is this. He had made a science experiment with 30 milliliters of water and 60 milliliters of gasoline with ethanol. And he poured them together, and because the alcohol will mix with the water line came up to 35. Then he did it with non-ethanol gas. He poured the same amount in it into the same amount of water. Shook it up, come back 5 minutes later. The level where the water settled out didn't go up. It was a good way to understand how they mix gas. Now, what I like about it was I only burn high test gas, but I'm going to have to make sure that it's ethanol free now, because what he said, it will reduce the life of your yard equipment, like the snow blower, my rototiller, my chainsaws, and whatever else I might have that's got gas in it. Because it dries out the gaskets and all that kind of stuff. It's not good for it. And I was tempted to just start regular gas in it, but not now. Because I don't want to buy a new chainsaw or a new rototiller or a new snowblower. Doesn't seem right. Now, this 10%, like it says, may contain up to 10%. It's interesting because what's it doing to your car? And you can't go by what the oil companies claim. I know that for sure. The oil company I worked for insisted that hydrazine didn't cause cancer. There was nothing to worry about. You can bathe in it. Right after they said that, the report came out that hydrazine, in fact, causes cancer. And hydrazine is something that they use in the rocket fuel. Because when a rocket goes up into outer space, it has no oxygen with it in its fuel. So what they do is they use hydrazine to absorb oxygen, and that's how they can get the ignition up in outer space. I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, we're going to come up to a straight stretch here pretty quick, and then that's it. It'll be pretty well straight all the way to Harvey. A couple of small turns, but... And this is the bush. Didn't get very far out of the city. It looks like a Thunderbird. Oh, it's a Mustang. A red Mustang. So where's the straight stretch here? Make me look bad. Looks like this road could use some loving again too. There's a lot of big trucks on this road. Because this hooks up to Mikado, and then off into the United States. Oh, there's a big flood. Somebody bought a house lot, I guess. We were looking at a log home out here when we started looking. And I'm glad we didn't. Watch out, don't want to pay no tickets today. Alrighty, what's going on here? Too early for berries. Huh. Well, we better purr along here, because if I don't, we won't be able to get by this guy for a bit. I think I'll wait. If you weren't with me, I'd probably do it. Do some logging in here. They call it logging, but it's clear cutting, and that's different. If you can see what I can see, to the right, there's not a tree in sight when you look over there. And what the buggers do is they'll leave the trees on the side of the road so that you don't look. See what I mean by straight? Here's the road away in the hell up here. Ain't nobody coming here. You guys got money? And we'll get by this guy here in a minute. Now what's going on here? Oh, 2 trucks. There we go. Damn, that was a good donut. Okay, can we get by this guy now? This guy's kind of hogging the road here. Come on, move your freaking truck over. Riding the freaking yellow line. There we go. And we should be smooth sailing from here on in. We're supposed to get rain today. Oh, and great news. Last night, we got the potatoes finally in the ground. 2 weeks late, but still, they're in the ground. My wife and that damn pile of rocks, she was really disheartened. She said, I said, what's the matter? She looked all sad after I rototilled it up the last time, like for wherever, like the forever rototill. And she says, look at all the rocks that are there. And I says, well, I tried to freaking tell you. And she wouldn't listen. She says, you think it's, how many rocks do you think are there? And I says, well, there's probably 10 times more than you took out, if not more than that. And she didn't quite get it. She says, well, where'd the rocks all come from? And I says, come from the glaciers. And then she goes, aha. And most of the rocks that we're picking out of the garden are round. So they were ground down when the glacier ground its way down over the top of here on its way to wherever it had to go to melt. And we found a few a little bigger than bigger than a baseball, a little bigger than that. Let's see, about the size of a large coffee cup from the like a large Coke. And I says, there's still more down there. And I said, next spring you'll be picking them up off the top again. I says, just stew the big ones next time. She was picking up rocks no bigger than a clamshell. Or smaller. Bucket loads of them. And what that, I had to load them in the wagon like in a bucket of rocks. It's pretty friggin' heavy. I don't know how heavy it was, but I couldn't pick it up with one hand. I had to use 2 hands throw my shoulders into it, and heave it into the back of the wagon. I got smart after a while, though. At first, I was picking up all the rocks and just dumping them in and filling the bucket back up. And then I had to take the rocks down over to the edge down by the fire pit and dump them. And I had to unhook the wagon so that I could roll the rocks out of it, like flip the wagon over upside down. And that was a lot of frickin' work. It was a frickin' disaster, this potato patch this year. But anyway, it's in. And I'll get... Oh, frig, I gotta start the other garden tomorrow. And that's behind, too. The moral of the story here, the lessons that we learned was, as soon as you think that the ground is dry enough, rototill it up. And before you do, semi-level off any big lumpy areas, if you can. I could probably do that with just a rototiller going down on top of each row after. And then once the garden is half-assed leveled out, put your fertilizer and all that other junk on there. Oh, and she had what to do. We had 2 bags of lime that she hauled up and left outside on the grass, burning a hole with the other bags that she hauled up of sheep manure and a seafood fertilizer and a half a bag of chicken manure. Chicken pellets or whatever they look. That's what they were anyway. Oh, there's a nice one, something there. Boy, some people got money. So anyway, one of the bags of lime got wet, and when I cut it open and tried to pour it into a bucket, because I could pick the bucket up under my arm and just flick it out with a trowel. Well, for those little shovels. Well, guess what? It was just like a thick slurry. It was like molasses coming out of the bag. So I had to go down to the freaking water, mix up the slurry until I could get it to kind of soft enough. Then I drilled the bottom of a bucket out, came back up, poured this wet stuff in there with the holes in the bottom of the other bucket, my mousetrap bucket. Anyway, it somewhat worked until it hit or when the slurry started to settle out again into there, it plugged all the holes up. So I went back, made the holes bigger, and it still did the same thing and just kept that more water. And then when my wife wasn't really paying attention, I just threw the bucket with what crap was left into the cart, and I dumped it where we were dumping rocks, and now I've dumped rocks on top of it, so it's gone for good. And she doesn't get it, like she's complaining about how hard a work it is. And I says, well, geez, I did the potatoes 2 years in a row by myself, put them in, and dug them up. You wouldn't help. There was no part of it. And that's the next thing that's coming. I might rototill down between the rows one more time. We have 3 rows in there. And I would like to measure it up so I can find out how many square feet that is, because it's big. And it's probably about the size of 2 front lawns in a city, including driveways. But you'll see. What time is it here? We're well along the way here. We're almost half-ish the way there. Not a very nice day out. You go over to Tracy this way, which is over to a place called Fredericton Junction. And we're almost up to Harvey here. 2 shakes of a wet dog's tail. So anyway, that's some of the story of the garden there, or the potato patch. And I think if we do it a couple more times, but we get organized. So here's a little trick that I showed my wife. I didn't have a tape measure to measure the row. And I had 3 rows, so I had to get one in the middle. So I pounded a stake in each corner. I carried the string. It says, hold the string with the stick. I walked over with the string over to the other stake. I said, stay there. I went back and I gave her the other end. And I says, don't move. And I folded it in half. That was the middle, pounded in another stake. We did the same thing at the other end. So now we've got the 3 rows marked out, and then it was just a matter of doing the 1 row, moving the stake with the string over to the next row, and that didn't work out all that good. I'm going to have to get something to wrap the string up in, actually, because I just kind of rolled it over on the what do you call that? Alright, what do we got here? Okay, here we are. My son pointed out around here somewhere there's a bunch of tiny houses. What the hell was that? Okay, we're just outside Harvey now. I must have hit the paddle. Okay. I'm not sure what this highway is. Coffee's all gone, almost anyway. I had to go back in time, boy. If I was knowing what I know now, I'd buy as much property as I could when I was a young guy. Just keep buying as whatever I could afford. Big payments on it, whatever. So I had a big piece of property. The 100 acres I have is not bad, but it's not big enough. All right, what do we got here? School days. We'll just go slow anyway. I'm the administrator for the community watch of this town here and the local area. Me and this other fella. And I get first-hand news on all the crime that's happening around here and around where we live. Which is kind of handy. A couple months ago, the train derailed here. Knew that right away. What's this girl doing here? Huh. Looks like she bakes bread and pushes it across the street. Well, this is a good size hill. We'll let this person go here. Nice to see if there was a police up at the top of the hill here. I came here last fall to get my possession acquisition license for buying firearms to the school up there. That was a long way to go from home. Oh, maximum of 50. Look at all these freaking youngins. There we go. There's a lot of problems with meth out here. All kinds of things getting stolen. They drive right up, they'll take anything. Gas cans, whatever you leave laying out there, these little thieves are freaking grabbing it all. I don't know where they're hawking it all. That would be interesting to find out. But it seems, I don't know why, but it seems now that criminals are not getting punished. And the Liberal government yesterday is pushed Bill C-11, which means they're going to have control of what we see on our social media and stuff. I don't know if I like that or not. Well, I know I definitely don't. It's supposed to be free speech. And to understand what's going on, you'd have to be pretty well a Canadian citizen and following politics to some degree to realize that our country's been hijacked by the Liberals and the NDP party. But anyway, I don't talk about politics too much. Country store. Horses and goats. There, we'll be turning up here pretty soon. Nose is plugged solid. Oh, bird got me. Turning right here. Now we're going to turn on to Tweedside Drive. This is a bad corner. There we go. This should be a pretty rough road. Have to pay attention here. Then this one turns into gravel, which is not nearly as good as the Dorn Ridge part, dirt part. But that's just the way it is. That's a nice tree. And I've got some sugar maples coming up behind the 5 oaks that'll look nice. Oh, somebody's lost their garbage cans. That's why I tie them up. And see this box at the end of the road here, the end of the lane, that's how people put their garbage in there, for the guy to pick it up. But the bears come along and they'll flip that box open. Because I seen somewhere on my trip today just that. And now there's a beautiful lake that you can't see off to the left. I can't see it either. You never know what you're going to miss, do you? Then what I'll do is I'll put the other battery in it when we're coming back. I don't know, it's 12:30 now, so I don't know how long I'll be here. 3-4 hours maybe. Yeah, my buddy bought himself a nice, great, big speedboat a couple of years ago, and I don't think he can afford to put the gas in it now. Freaking crooks. The way the price of fuel is and everything else. I guess that's what happens when you build your house out of cards. Not him, I mean. The way the pandemic has affected everybody. That guy. Superbugs? Yeah. Mailboxes. The mailboxes, the thieves break into them damn things too. Now there's one road down to the lake. Those are all cottages on the blue sign. Or homes. But my friend has a permanent home here, plus he owns the camp next door. And he's done most of the work on this himself. Built a real nice house. I'm not sure how many people helped and how many actual contractors he had to buy or pay to get it built. Maybe the concrete, but I'm pretty sure he did the rest. He's an electrician, retired now by trade. Oh, I gotta put a peppermint in here. When you drink a coffee, your mouth turns into like a freaking growing fur on your face, in your tongue. Okay, here we are. Oh, somebody's got some wood. They're charging a pretty good penny for the trees to be delivered nowadays too. But things have changed a lot since we were kids. Or I was a kid. And when I was a kid, my old man would tell me go up the woods, cut the tree down, buck it up for firewood, log it up to the house, and put it away in the shed for the winter. And I would never get any peace until that was done. Plus all the other stuff that you had to do. And go to school. And study. The last two were pretty hard for me. But I did graduate. That was pretty close. That was a tough thing. And little did I know that I'd spend the rest of my life always studying some friggin' thing. Pumps, thermodynamics, computers. Always something. Architecture. Yada, yada, yada. Lots of stuff. So we're getting closer now. This is another big giant forest. This is a nice lake too. Last summer, or the summer before last summer, I was out here fishing and caught some bass. But I'm not a big fish eater. I do like lobster. Scallops aren't too bad. Price of lobsters come down quite a bit. It's about $10 a pound here now. Because the Asians aren't buying it. They had that price up to about $30 last year. Guys that were trapping the lobster were getting their holding pens raided in the middle of the night. We must be getting close to the end of this road. It's going to turn into gravel again pretty quick. She's up bumpy. Yeah, that acupuncture on my hands, that really helped. Oh, man. I think it's 9:24 or something we gotta go on. Yeah, there we go. This is the gravel now. There we are. Just up this way a little bit to the left, and there we're there. not too bad right now. They got a lot of big rocks that need to be blasted out though. Just up here somewhere. Right here somewhere. Let me see. There it is. And here we go. Oh, this is nice. Look at this. And then there's the lake, straight ahead. Oh, that must be a culvert. I got a little washboardy here too. You wouldn't know it. A couple years ago they had this all freaking logged off. These trees grew up pretty quick. I mean, if you look from above, you'll see all the missing trees, but if you look down, you won't. All right. I think this is the second largest lake in New Brunswick. It's not very deep. Now, just up here a little ways, oh, there's a nice dog pen. No dog. Nope. I forgot. Somebody didn't pay. There's the camp. Is it? No, that's not it. Further. We gotta go further. That's not it either. It's not that one either. Oh, he's got himself a tractor. I'll have to ask him about that. Here we are. Oh, they got himself some kind of a little freaking funny car. I'll just park here and hope I'm not in the creating a panic here. Okay, so I'm going to turn you guys off, and I'll turn you back on when I get back. Ta-ta.
It does have...
Okay, we're on our way out. Excuse me. I gotta clear my throat here. Alright. Make sure don't run into anybody. Great visit with great friends. You get a nice cat there and a dog. The freaking cat's just like a dog. Oh, it looks like it's been raining out. So there's quite a few people down here retiring. And the camp next to him, like he's in a regular house, but the camp next to his camp, which is next door, 2 doors down, what the hell? Oh, it says one of those stuffed deers blew over. I thought there was a dead deer laying in his front lawn. It's one of those, you know those, oh, geez, what the hell we got here? Joey Jogger. You never know what you're going to see out here. Out and about. Yeah, cat. He's got some trails cut in here for his ATV and for walking, like with the dog and stuff like that. The cat follows him all the way up to the top of the hill here and back, in the woods and everything. They picked the cat up 2 years ago on Halloween, called it Spook. Jet black. Anyway. Guys probably be running to save money on gas. Either that or he has no girlfriend. I'll let you figure that one out on your own. Alright, here we go. Now this next farm, or this first thing that we come up to, right up here, his name's Robert. And he's a rancher slash carpenter. And he bought himself, I guess it's quite a funny story, he bought himself a donkey for his cattle to protect them, because they'll kill coyotes and that. Well, I guess his beef cattle are losing weight, because when it's mealtime, the donkey comes up to get fed, and the cattle are afraid of him. So they head down towards the lake, and they're not eating. So now, he bought a pony to go with the donkey. And the horse is afraid of the donkey too. So the horse and the cows are all down at the lake. Now, I don't see no donkey. There's one probably around. I think what he should have done is bought 2 donkeys. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not my problem. Poor Robert. Yeah, my friend down here, Bev, he retired a couple years ago. Had enough. He's a construction electrician, master electrician or something to the effect that he works in these big plants, nuclear power plants, refineries, all of that stuff. He's had enough, he said. He worked at the big refinery in St. John. He says when they started there, it was hotter than hell. And then it rained every day. On top of that, that's right at the seaport. And then it froze. Ice everywhere. He said that was enough. And he says, I'm packing it in and I'm retiring. Bought himself that great big boat. which I've been out on lake a couple of times with him. His son-in-law borrowed the, oh, we get some action going on in the front window here. We're going to get the climate going here. Get rid of that. There we go. That might go. Then recirculate. And let's turn off the AC. There we go. Let's see if that works. Cleared up the windows. He took out his boat. Cost him $300 and change because he hit a rock with the prop. Luckily, the young feller is a mechanic and he gets stuff on discounts. So he ended up getting the prop for cost or whatever his price, which was probably about a $500 prop. Myself, I would rather have a jet boat, but in all honesty, I don't really want a boat. I'd rather have something to go in the bush with. But that's a dream. That's not going to stay a dream. Let me see. Turn on these wipers. Oh, there we go. We get rid of that. Must be pretty humid out today. All right. There, that should be good. Let's see what happens from there. We were going to buy out near here, out to what's called the Cork Road. There was 300 acres for sale, and the house wasn't too bad. I mean, it probably needed $100,000 worth of loving to bring it up, make it decent again. But when you walked out the back door of the house to look at the property, it had been recently been logged, and it looked like as if well, they didn't do a very good job cleaning it up. So there was busted logs and stuff like that everywhere. And what the guy said is that, well, don't worry about that. You can grow Christmas trees there. And I thought, you're out of your mind. I wouldn't pay that kind of money to have to work and do that sort of a thing. That's a nice looking old house there. It's amazing what people can do when they put a little bit of loving back into some of these old houses. Oh. Now, another interesting fact out here, on one of these roads going off to the left, there's a house where a famous Canadian was born in, so I guess you could call it his homestead here. His name was Don Messer, who was on the CBC every week. I think it was on a Saturday night. Can't remember. I remember watching it because my parents would always watch it. Called Don Messer's Jubilee. And he was a fiddle player. And everybody loved him. Then the Tommy Hunter show would come on after that. And he was kind of a country and western guy. He had a horribly pock-marked face, but he sure could sing and play the guitar. But it was not something that I watched. It was kind of like, you know how your parents watch things. It's like Lawrence Welk. I didn't watch much of that either. Another show that they used to watch a lot of. Look at it, it's all steaming up in here. This is weird. There we go. And I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, those old TV shows, those musics that we used to, as a kid, had to watch, like The Pig and Whistle. And there was another, the Grand Ole Opry or something like that would come on the weekends. Pretty close to getting off this road now. Head back into Harvey. It's like a seagull or an eagle. Pretty nice. Nice fields full of all that yellow stuff there. Looks like goldenrod. Hello, what are you gonna do? So for lunch, I had a buffalo burger and a cheese bun. Barbecued, pretty good. Potato salad and some kind of a apple crumble or something it was called. That was good too. But to be honest with you, I don't think I should have had that s'mores donut because it kind of threw me off. Because I could have ate maybe 2 burgers, but I could only do 1. I feel slim already. Oh, and that's the lady that gets my coveralls. So now I got 2 new pairs of coveralls. Just in time, because the other pair of coveralls that I've been wearing lately in the potato patch, I ripped the knee out again. And those cost $230. And these ones that I got, the blue jean one, they're not as heavy or anything. But they're $50 a piece, American. So, 60, 70 bucks maybe? I don't know. But these 3 new pair will last me, I don't know, probably bury me in them. Who knows? So nicely looked after cemetery. Some pretty old stones in there. Now out here there used to be a mine, I believe, and a lot of people here have problems with radon gas coming into their homes. Oh, look at this guy flying behind me. He just zoomed right up. Pretty soon I'll phone up Bev and I'll go out to place in McAdam. There's a gun store out there. There's not many of them around in the province. Okay, what's this little blue guy's gonna go zooming by me in a second here. Here he goes. Long curly hair and fuzzy looking beard. Looks like Allen Ginsberg. That was a long time ago. Come out here one time, me and my wife, Bubbles there, and off to the left up here in the town of Harvey, you go up the lake road a little ways, and there's a farm that sells ice cream on the side of the road there. You go in there, and they do tours for school kids and stuff like that. And he had 3 or 4 Great Pyrenees. But these were no regular Great Pyrenees like our dogs are. These things were freaking massive. I'm 6'2", and I put my hand out to pat the dog on the head, and my hand was just about even with my waist. And that's where his head was. I would say that these dogs were close to 150 pounds or more. And I couldn't help but think, this is kind of like Neanderthal dogs or whatever. Like, they're big. Oh well. Restaurant, always busy. Liquor store in there, drug store. Up to the left here. That's the way I used to have to go to get to when I was taking the gun course. What the hell is that? Oh, that's an old Jeep. There, the windows are nice and clean now. Irving. There are a lot of Irving gas stations down here. Gotta get home. Pill time. And let's not try to drive by my son's place, because that's a bugger to turn around. Interesting. Guy's got a black house. It's too bad it's not clear out, because you can usually see up from on these hills for miles. Now straight ahead, that's the way we came from the city, but I got to go to the left to go back home. And it's about an hour and a half or so from here, so the camera's going to die long before we get home. But I thought it would be nice to be able to show you something a little different. Now, just in here somewhere, I think. Should have been paying attention. Right there, maybe. No? There's supposed to be a bunch of tiny homes in here. There they are, right there. Now, what do we got here? Alright. His place is just up here somewhere. And this might be it right here. And if I do it right, I can back in before anybody else comes. There. Be right back.
guess he was the kid. Right, just walked down the stairs.
She left early. Okay, that's done. There we go. Okay, we just had the ambulance come screaming by. Boy, my throat's a little off. I haven't done this much talking in a long time. So let's see, 38 minutes or something. So we got about 10 to 20 minutes left or so. Oh, better not go too fast, because there will be police up here. A 91 and a 90 should be alright. 92. Now with this ambulance, the law says here, ambulances police cars and that kind of vehicle, you pull over and stop on the side of the road till they're gone by. Well, he's long gone now. There's an old tractor. It's been a good day. These are my oldest friends that I've got, and they are salt of the earth. That's how good of friends they are. Now, he mentioned that he was into reloading, and I haven't done that in more than 20 years, maybe more. I could never imagine in my whole life that I would be damn near 70 years old and reminiscing of things that happened maybe 50 years ago. Seems like yesterday. And my head still wants to do things that it can't. And it must be thick, because it's, well, I guess we'll all die trying. And that's just the way it is. This journey of life, when you really start to think about it, it's pretty bizarre. And it's like it's built into us. The older you become, the more and less tolerant you become. Things that used to drive you freaking nuts, not such a big deal anymore. And things that you didn't mind bother you like hell. Just don't make sense. So this road comes out here to a place called Longs Creek. Just a little past it is Roy's mom's house. And then we'll be going over the dam that way back home. And hopefully